All right. So it is Saturday, August 10th, and we are trying to get this done early so we can go watch LeBron play and Katie and probably Steph too, the last Olympic game with the U.S. team. So we're gonna get this done and out of the way as quick as possible. Like always, let's start off, boom, boom, with our get out of here. U.S. economic stuff for the week ahead. Monday, nothing too exciting. Tuesday, pre-market, we have PPI, right? So that's at 8:30 or 5:30 PST. Wednesday, CPI, pre-market. So Tuesday, Wednesday are going to be big. Thursday, jobless claims. Making sure I'm on the right week. That's going to be big. Pre-market. All this information is pre-market. And Friday, preliminary consumer sentiment. Nothing too crazy on Friday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all pretty big economic release days, all pre-market. So we'll have to see how that works into the pre-market action. Last week was pretty interesting. Not a whole lot of economic news released, but definitely a choppy week. It's like, let me fire up my IBKR quick and we can get to charting. All right, sorry about that. So let's do a quick rundown of earnings, and then we'll hop into charting. So, boo, anything big? Monday, nothing. Tuesday, Home Depot pre-market. That should be interesting. Wednesday, nothing that's really gonna move the market. Thursday, we have Walmart, we have Baba. Grab bike if you ever taken one of those. H&R Block, nothing too crazy. Walmart's the biggest one there. And then Friday, flowers. Don't even know what that is. So it's looking, let's just double check here. Looking pretty light for SPY and QQQ, so it should be good. Hopefully we can get a little bit of linear price action. Last week was pretty choppy. We're gonna go into that right now. Let's get that. No, don't exit. Boom, boom. All right, so we have the live stream up. Let's pop this out. Let's start with our standard S&P. So after 3 straight weeks of red, with the not last week but the week before being pretty strong selling, this week was quite interesting, right? So we had some massive wicks down, most of them during pre-market action, and then ultimately came back to have the first green close, which is looking like a nice hammer candle for the first time in about a month. Strong buying. We haven't seen strong buying like this. I think the last candle that we saw anything with a massive wick was over in April, last week of April, right here. Everything else has been pretty balanced buyer and seller up until this reversal. So it's been very interesting to see volume start to come back in. It's looking like on the week we had a little over 300 million volume. You know, previous 3 months, 2 or 3 months before that, all low, all under 200 million, right? So we're seeing volumes start to pick back up, and we pretty much came down and held those main levels that we were looking at. So we opened last week around 524, right? So this is very close, I guess, to the top of the previous resistance where we were looking. So the level that we had charted last week was 526, as well as 519, right around there. So we held both of those levels by the close of this week, and we actually closed over 532 as well. So starting to look a little bit more bullish, right? Massive sell-off for 3 weeks. Massive in this case being 565 to 530, so 36 point drop. And then massive rebound back, right? So I think bulls are going to be back. Everybody is worried that that the bears were in charge there. I think that if you were here the last couple of weeks, it was pretty, nothing to be worried about until we broke 490, right? At that point, we go from just a minor correction or a little bit of a pullback to, okay, well, now bears might be in control. So, we held pretty strong. 3 weeks of selling is not something that we're unfamiliar with. We had that back in April and then rebounded to all-time highs. So is that where we're going to be going forward? It's looking pretty strong, right? The case is there, especially on the weekly candle and the volume coming in. So low volume means that you can't trust the move as much. High volume, right? High relative volume means that more people were participating in the market. The more people that are participating in the market means that that move that was made during that high volume period can be trusted a little bit more than the same move if it was made during a low volume period, right? So in this case, we're sitting here and we're looking at this, right? This is the highest volume we've had since April, right? Funny enough, this is the highest volume that we've had on a weekly candle since we started our last bounce and push up to our previous all-time high, or current all-time high of, 565.6. So all longer term biases are kind of pointing to, all right, this might have been the bottom. Now it might be time to push back up. We're going into an election, right? So to close out the year strong, we're going to go into, usually the run up into elections into that November time period are going to be pretty strong. Nobody wants to see the economy faltering as we bring somebody new into office. So I think that this is all kind of lining up with that. August, September, October, November gives us 3 months, right? Which is basically where we were at to get from that April bottom out and bounce to here. So I think that my long-term outlook at this point in time is going to be, let's remove all the trend lines here, is going to be somewhere along the lines of, okay, cool, if we come back and test somewhere in the 526 area, 526.5, next week, I'm going to be loading longs. I think that it's looking pretty stable. Volume is there. The chart looks very primed now to take another push up. We're going through, there's no major FOMC release until November. I think that we're on a good path here. So let's see how QQQ is lining up with that. Boom, boom. Same, right? Majority of this is going to be very similar. So QQQ, the major tech index, right? So same thing, a little bit over 200 million volume. When was the last time we saw that? Yes, right where we bounced last time. QQQ is a little bit different, right? If we observe, so the wick on QQQ came very close to this bottom, so almost a double bottom on QQQ. So this is 419. 420-ish, and then the existing low is 413. If we flip back over to SPY quick, nope. Come on. You can see we had a little bit more breathing room, right? So we still had about 2.5%. So 506 to 492. So a little bit less of a pullback on SPY in comparison to QQQ. But let's see, what's this? No, it's still around 2%. Looking good. Everything's looking good. We're primed to run going into the end of the year. I like this. Tech is strong. Market is strong. The bears were freaking out. Everybody was saying, "Oh God, this is the recession." Like we said over the last couple of weeks, a healthy pullback is really nothing to be afraid of. 3 weeks in a row, not bad. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have a little bit of a concern, but our main thing that we were just watching is we wanted to see our existing bottoms, right? So on QQQ 415, and then on SPY, come on, load for me, 493. We just need to see those hold, right? So we came down, we didn't even test them. Now it looks like we're bouncing back up. So lots of confidence in there. Let's Let's see what some other things are doing on the weekly before we dive in. Let's just do our big overviews here. So we're going to check our NVIDIA. Again, green weekly, did not retest bottom. NVIDIA seems to have held a level that we had drawn from last week, right around 96, right? If you wanted to buy the dip there, everybody's freaking out. Nobody wanted to buy NVIDIA under 100. Well, now might not be a bad time, right? Held very strong. Again, volume on NVIDIA, not exactly as outlandish as what we were looking at with SPY and QQQ. It is not the highest weekly candle in terms of volume over the last 2 months, right? So the selling was more. So what does this mean in relation, right? So we're looking at SPY and we're looking at QQQ, and we're saying that there was way more volume in the last week, right? More people were stepping in, whether they're buyers or sellers, doesn't really matter to us. In this case, they were buyers. So if we look at NVIDIA, it's not quite the same. We don't have as much reassurance, right? There weren't more participants in the market in the last week than the week before. It was still a green candle and it was still relatively strong volume, but because it was kind of on par with where it's been, it's not as important. It doesn't stand out as much, right? This is pretty standard volume for NVIDIA, so can we trust the candle? Sure. Does it stand out to me? Is it like, oh, our bulls are taking control, bears are taking control? No, not really, not in relation to the SPY and QQQ volume. I still think that this is looking great for longs. A weekly doji almost, or hammer. Forgive me, there's a lot of buyers. We dipped down, there's a ton of buying, whatever that candle's called. Looks great. Held the levels that we were looking at. I think next major level for NVIDIA that we're going to want to check is going to be 121. You know, longing up to there. It could. NVIDIA moved 20% bottom to top on this previous candle for the week, right? So if we're looking at that, we're looking at $90 to 108. So we have a move of 19. So if we're at 104, a $19 move, assuming top to bottom, would put us at 123, which means that we could potentially test 120 this week if we were only going straight up from here, right? So that seems pretty unlikely. I think a week or two out, 120 calls is probably going to be a good play for NVIDIA here. Let's see what we're looking at on the options chain. Go back. Hey, somebody unplug my internet? I have no market data right now. I am not sure what happened.
Market data connection lost. Market data connection re-established.
All of them, though? Huh. Well, this is a bit of a dilemma. I can't really do anything if I have no market data. We'll give it a second here. If it doesn't come back on, that's going to be it for the week. At least we kind of did the overview, right? We got SPY, we got QQQ. Everything's looking like buy-in. Puts on IBKR, assuming that I can't reconnect. What the hell? Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do here. I'm gonna watch this. I mean, there's no point in... Oh. No. Okay. Oh. Oh my god, what's going on?
Market data connection re-established.
It's trying to... No.
Data connection lost. Data connection re-established.
Goddamn.
Market data connection re-established.
Gotta love technical difficulties, right? Come on.
Market data connection re-established.
It's still flashing red for me, but I'm hoping.
Market data connection lost.
No. All right, y'all. My data is all glitchy. This is very wrong. I'm gonna pause this here. I'm gonna try and restart my computer. If it comes back, I will add everybody in the chat and we can get back to it. But I can't really go over charts if I have no data. So I'm gonna restart and then we'll see if we can get the stream back up.